So, hello to all of you at the Finnish Table Tennis Association who you are watching this video presentation. Hyvää päivää. My name is Markus. I am from Estonia. I'm a table tennis player, and I am also one of the founders of Sport Software. I will give you a quick introduction to what we do, what we have so far discussed with Henry about the platform, and then within the next hour you will have an overview of everything that we can offer to you as the federation. So our this project started around 2 years ago in Estonia when we started building the new federation platform. So what Estonia wanted was a platform that was revolutionary, that it has not anywhere in the world yet, and which has all the necessary features in one place. So that means all the rankings, tournaments, club management, licenses, everything. And it has taken a lot of time to reach this point where we are right now, but now we are already pretty certain that it is ready to grow further. And better place to let it grow than our neighbors, you in Finland. So we have discussed this with Henry during the Finlandia Open, and now I'm here with a video presentation of what this partnership could look like. So within the next hour, you will hear everything about all the different modules that the new Finnish Table Tennis Association platform will have. You can see a slight overview of them here on the screen. I'm not sure, maybe my camera is blocking something here in the bottom corner right now, but in total, it will be at minimum these 12 features. These 12 features that you can see here on the screen, but possibly during the process we can add more, and everything will be customized to your needs. So I will be going over all of these features one by one in the next hour. You can skip to certain parts of the video to know exactly, or to learn about a specific topic exactly. All of these sections will be around 5 to 25 minutes long depending on the section. And in the Google Slides, I will have the video about every section separately, and at the end of every section, we'll also have a quick overview of the main topics or main points that are covered in this section. Before we get started, I want to say that it will be an honor for us to partner with you. It's definitely will be awesome to see Finland adopt our system, and that it will be a long-term partnership. I myself, I've also played various tournaments in Finland, and will definitely also be doing so in the future. And yeah, I mean, without any further introduction, let's start going through the features one by one. All right, so first and foremost, we have probably one of our most popular features and most widely used inside the Federation, which is the automated ranking system. Now, the Estonian Federation was kind enough to let us present their version of it as a demo to you. So I will be going over everything you see here on the screen. I will try to be as quick as possible, but in a few words, the automated ranking system is an automated ranking system. So when tournaments are played, when players win their matches, lose their matches, after each tournament, the ranking is recalculated. And then at an interval of your choice, let's say it's maybe one day or one week or maybe once per month, the rating is visually changed for the players. So, for example, here in Estonia, as you can see here in the top left, the ranking updates once a week. So the last time it updated was on the 6th of January at around midnight. So that can be totally customized according to how you prefer, but I will quickly show you everything this also has to offer. So when you first go on the ranking page, you will see this overview. So at the top, you can see some of the best players from this week. So the players who got the biggest rise in their ranking. This is just a little add-on which makes it kind of look cool, and also brings up mostly the young players who are progressing really fast, and so they also have more motivation to play and win because their name will be like shown up on the screen. Right under it, we have the ranking table itself. So currently we have opened the men's ranking. As you can see here, we have all the men in Estonia. Here in the ranking table, you can also see, for example, how a player's ranking changed compared to last week. So as you can see, Robbie went up one spot, Sergey went down one spot, and this shows it for all players here. So also you can see the club where the player belongs to. You can see their license and all this kind of things. This ranking here is configured to the Estonia Table Tennis Federation calculation system, but as we do for you, we will do like a completely custom ranking algorithm that you will send us. You will have your own points. As I know in Finland, the points are different. It's like 2,200, 2,300, 1,600, and like that. So that is all like kind of like plug and play. So it makes it really simple to just put in your algorithm in here. Uh, Another cool thing for the players is they can open the calculator. So, for example, if they played in a tournament, they choose their name here. They choose, for example, who they beat, and then they can calculate how much rating they won or lost from that player even before the new rating is up. So that is a pretty popular feature. Also, for Estonia, for example, the whole calculation algorithm is displayed here on the front page of the ranking. So whenever a player has questions like, okay, why did I win this amount of points or why did I lose that amount of points, they can easily just check the algorithm. And this is the same algorithm that our system runs on. So, a few more things. We can easily switch between women's ranking, men's rankings, combined ranking. So, here in the combined ranking, it's men and women in the same ranking. As I know in Finland, there already is a combined ranking. So, uh, yeah, this is also one part that is really customizable and you can do anything with it. Also, there is an option to show the ranking together with foreigners or without. So, for example, here I enable to show a ranking with foreigners inside. And here we can see the players up here are not Estonian players, and the first Estonian player is here. So it shows their overall ranking and then their ranking for just Estonian players, which is also pretty nice. We can also filter very easily by age group. So, for example, if we want the boys under 17, then as you can see, I selected it from down here, and now here we have a boys under 17 ranking, which shows just the people from that age group, which is also nice. Another thing that we can do, we can once again pretty simple. We can just search for a player. For example, I just searched for myself. I can see I am number 100. I can see my club. I can see that I don't have a license yet. And yeah, that is all from the public side of the rating. Now, I want to show you a few things from the admin panel side. If we open the admin panel here, uh, this is our dashboard, but what we have here is the rating management. So even though the ranking itself is completely automated, so no one has to calculate anything or touch any Excel sheets, whatever, there is this panel where admins can verify, for example, if a player has any questions, then every time a ranking recalculates, then here in the admin panel, there is a summary for each player, what algorithm was used, how the rating changed, and so on. Uh, Also, we can already see that the tournaments that were calculated, tournaments that are still awaiting calculation, for example, these here are all long running tournaments like the leagues. So there are a lot of different league game days across the season. So yeah, another thing that we can do is we can export rankings and data about the rankings. For example, historical trends. For example, we can select a ranking from a specific date. We can choose a type of format that we want to export. So we have all the data here. We will talk more about the data exporting and importing in a bit. But this is just a quick overview of the ranking admin panel. And yeah, as you saw here, this is the ranking itself for the public view. It's uh, it's very simple to use both on desktop and both on mobile devices. It's pretty much the same. So yes, this is the ranking. So another part when it comes to ranking system that we have is for each player, when you open a player's profile, you can see this kind of view here. So we are very heavy on various kind of statistics and long-term data analysis. So we have also implemented this for the players themselves. So when you open a player's profile, the first thing you are greeted with is his or her or their general statistics. So for example, if I open Pet's profile, I can see that this season he has played 88 matches. He has 82%, 81.8% win rate. You can see all kinds of statistics about the games he has won, that he has lost, about his sets, about his ratios, about average, about how long his one game takes, and also his set game average. So all kind of like these main statistics that a player can see whenever they want from their profile. Now, when new seasons start coming, then they will be able to start comparing these seasons. For example, they can compare the last season to this season, see how their win percentages have improved or changed, how their match durations have changed, and so on. So we plan to add even more statistics as we go, but currently this is what the player will see from their statistics page. Also, we can easily see all the matches the players has played. We can easily find matches with their opponents. As you can see, I search for someone's name. I can see how Pettit has played with him, and yeah, this gives a very nice overview of all their recent matches, both doubles and singles. Then the next view that we have is the tournaments view. So here we can see all the tournaments for a specific season for this player. As you can see, Bennett has played really well. He has um, gained ranking from almost every tournament. So this is how many ranking points the player gets from that tournament or got from that tournament, which is really nice. Now I'm going to skip this next window, the question window right now, because we will talk about that in the gamification section. But we're going to jump straight here to the graph. And what this graph is, you have probably seen something like this in the past before. It shows historical data of how the player's ranking has changed throughout time. So for the Pet, we can see almost 12 years or 11 years worth of data, how he has improved. We can easily like zoom in. We can see all these data points about how his placement points, ranking points, rating, order, everything like that has changed. We can easily find specific sections and zoom in. And this is very user friendly, both on the desktop view and also on phone. So it works the same way. So yeah, that is a general overview of the player profile. We can access this from anywhere, from the participants list, from the ranking, from anywhere we want. So yeah, this section here we will talk about in another section, but this is kind of the overview of what the player sees when they open their or someone else's profile. All right, so next up we have something called player gamification. So probably not many of you have heard about this feature. It's very new. It's also new for us. Uh, the whole point of this feature is to gamify the experience of table tennis for mostly, let's say, young players, or to attract more young players towards the federation. I will give a few words about what this is in general, and then we will go through a quick demo. So, the point of this feature uh, is to work with the mental model of mostly young people who need life or need things they do to be gamified. This is especially a case in today's world where people need to feel rewards for completing something difficult in order to keep them, let's say, addicted or motivated to do something. So I will give you a quick overview of what we mean by this. So if in this rating table, we will right now open, for example, let's open Pet's profile. He is the number one player in Estonia. If, as you can see here under a profile, we have something called quests. So if we click here, we can see that uh, under his quest tab, there are some quests for him. So these are generated according to how the Federation wants. For example, maybe once per week, once per month, once per quarter. It really depends and is easily customizable. As you can see, for example, from Pert's profile, as we know that he is a very strong player, he is right now number one in Estonia. He has his first quest to win 10 consecutive matches in a row, which is a difficult quest for someone to win 10 matches in a row. That means pretty much like win two whole tournaments in a row. And for this quest, as you can see, it expires on the 31st of January. Right now is the 11th. So he has currently completed 70% of this. So that means he has currently won 7 games in a row. And he needs to win 3 more games in a row in the span of the next 20 days to complete this quest. How the quests are generated is that we have a machine which takes in information about each and every player. For example, their skill level, how frequently they play, what are their strengths, weaknesses. And every time the quests are updated, this machine goes through each player's individual characteristics and then generates usually 4 to 6 unique and personal quests for them. For example, as you can see under player's profile, one quest here is completed to participate in 5 tournaments. It expires on 7th February, but he has already completed this quest. And as you can see, he has a few more, for example, increasing his ranking points by an X amount of points. This is also very dependent of what the player's ranking is currently, uh, where they where the machine thinks they should be, and so on. Some quests could be like long running quests. So let's say here is a quest which is probably not like a monthly, but more like a quarterly quest or a seasonal quest to play 100 official matches. As you can see here, it shows that 82 out of these 100 matches for this player are completed, and then he has until the 3rd of February, so around a month, to play 18 more matches. So that is kind of the general overview of the quests. This final version will hopefully be out by the end of January or at latest beginning of February for all players. Right now, we are testing it out to make sure it's fair and it's appropriate for all players. Another thing that we have here on the player profile is a medal cabinet. So whenever players participate in tournaments, will they have their medals, the physical medals that they get, gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal, so on. But now on top of the players having these physical medals, every time they get some kind of place or medal at a tournament, they will also have a visual medal here in their medal cabinet, which will be visible to everyone and always on their profile. So, for example, if they lose their physical medal, then they will always have this digital one here. This feature also will hopefully be completely finished and out by February. So players will start collecting their medals here. They can compare it to their friends. All medals will have their own unique designs, characteristics. So it will be really cool. Hopefully in February we'll start handing out these medals, and this will also be done automatically by the system. So if a player is placed number one in a tournament or two or three or gets some kind of special class award, then once the tournament admin finishes the tournament, it will automatically be visible here on the player's profile. So yeah, that was an overview of what the gamification aspect of this is. I was also thinking of maybe including this statistics part and everything else in their gamification, but that kind of deserves its own class or its own little section of video. But yeah, overall, this is the gamification aspect of our platform. All right, so here as the next point, we have another one of the really big features when it comes to sports federation, which is managing your tournaments. So, for example, now in Estonia, all tournaments are running on our platform. So, everything from little countryside tournaments where there's maybe 20 or 30 players to like major big tournaments like Estonian championships, Estonian leagues, everything from that kind. So I will be showing you a quick overview of how the tournament system works, how it is from the admin side, and how it looks for the players themselves. So we will just open the current Estonian website. I will show you, for example, as you can see right now, it's January 10th. there is a tournament running in Viljandi in Estonia. Let's take a quick look at it. We will see if there are still matches ongoing. Okay, nice, there are. So this is the children's Grand Prix, the fifth stage, for example. And I think here in this tournament, there's quite a lot of different tournament bracket styles or types. So we can just give you an overview, start from the very beginning. In this class, girls under 9 years old, they're using just a simple round robin type tournament. As you can see in this round robin group, there are 6 players. They all already finished their matches because they probably played in the morning. And this is actually a very good example because we can also show you, as you can see, the first 3 players. Like this is number 1, she is number 2, and she is number 3. They got their placements right after the games. But as you can see here, for 6, 5, and 4, they had the exact same number of wins and losses, so the same number of total points. And for them, our system automatically calculated then who should be 4, who should be 5, who should be 6. And as you can see, our system gives an overview of exactly how the calculation was done. So for example, for these players, they had the same amount of wins. So then it went over to calculate their set win and loss ratio, or game win and loss ratio. So it gives the exact reason why they put one player to the last spot, one player to the 5th, and one player to the 6th. So the umpire themselves, they don't have to do anything. This is all calculated. This is all documented. If the players have any questions, they can easily, either on their mobile phone or on the laptop, they can see exactly who got what place and why. Also under the table, you can see all the matches. You can see the table where that match was. You can see the score. For example, here the score was inserted in sets, not points. So otherwise you would also see here like 11-9, 11-6, 5-11, so on. But this umpire decided to just insert the result in sets. But yeah, this is a simple round robin class. Here, for example, if I open boys under 9 right now, they have also finished already. So this is a normal double elimination, or no, this is a full placement. So all the spots are played out. As you can see here, they were set in the bracket, and already we have the winners. We have all the places played out. If you hover your mouse on top of a player, you can see their journey through the bracket, which is pretty cool. You can see where they went, where their next match was, where their last match was. So for example, if I go here, I could do the loser's next match, so it will take me to August's next match, which is pretty nice. As you can see, August fell here from the main bracket, and our system automatically calculates all the bye-byes. For example, also as you can see here, it calculates walkovers, disqualified players, everything. So literally nothing will have to be managed. There's no headache for the organizer of the tournament. Everything is done through the system. The only thing that the tournament organizer has to do is they have to order the players either by ranking, so doing one click on the screen, or dragging them however they want, and then just starting the games and inserting the results. Everything else is live for the players. Yeah, as you can see here, the games have already finished. In this class, everyone has their scores. We can also open another class. Well, okay, this one is a very similar tournament table. Okay, seems that right now they're all pretty much similar. Here we have another round robin tournament class. Here we can see that all the matches have not finished yet. It's still ongoing right now, so they are still playing. The admin can print the QR code for the bracket, and you can put it up inside the hall, so all the players and the spectators can easily take out their phone. They can scan this QR code that you can see here, and then it will open this exact bracket for them on their phone or desktop, wherever. So another thing is we have the view of the matches, which is very simple, very nice. You can see some players have given walkovers. There are all the scores here. This is just a simple view to see all the matches in all classes. You can also see how far the tournament currently is. So as you can see, 69% of the tournament is finished, and we have 31% around to go. So then the players and the admins can easily know around what time the tournament might end. We have the participant tables. this is pretty self-explanatory. You can also go and check out the website yourself. You can check out all kinds of tournaments. Here we can see all kinds of players in each class. We have statistics for all tournaments. Which is really nice. We'll talk about that soon too. But for each tournament, we can see who was for example, the MVP, who did their best performance in the tournament. We can see insights about what was the longest match has been so far, average durations, shortest matches, all kinds of, and also for each player, we have individual player performance. So this is good for coaches, for example, to view how their players are playing. We can filter by, for example, the win-loss ratios. We can filter by amount of matches. We can filter by durations. Well, you get the point. So this is all for each tournament. This is all automatic. Nothing has to be configured anywhere. This is all done by the system itself when the matches are played and when the tournament progresses, which is nice. Then we have standings. As you can see here, for one of the classes that has already finished, we can see that the girls have their final standings here. We can also see the season standings, which is nice. So uh, let's say let's say there's a big season, and then the season consists of multiple stages. So the each stage here, as you can see, and then there is like the summary of the whole season so far. I'm pretty sure there's also similar types of tournament series in Finland. So this is automatically configured. Uh, there is no manual calculation that has to be done. In the past, this was done using Excel, but that is not the case anymore. So everything that you can see here is automatic. Also for the players, thing that admins use a lot or tournament organizers use a lot, they have a screen in the playing hall, and then they put this table view right on the wall. So whenever a player walks by, they can easily see if they have currently a game on some kind of table. This here is automatic, um, updating automatically in real time. So for example, if some game gets finished, then this table gets empty. But as you can see right now, all tables are used in this tournament. So there's 18 tables right now, and everyone is currently playing somewhere in Vilendi. So that is nice. Also, we have the gallery section. Right now for this tournament, we don't have any images uploaded yet because the tournament is not finished. But for example, we can show from Finlandia Open, which I think a lot of you, most of you who are watching this know. So in Finlandia Open, we had this gallery. So this can be done for all kinds of tournaments. We can filter by days. We can, yeah. So people can easily zoom in pictures. They can scroll through the pictures, and it's very simple for admins to upload the pictures, which is really nice. And also, for example, in Finlandia, in the U21 groups, for example, we had this kind of tournament style which was called the dynamic tournament. So players started in groups, so in the pools, and then the best players from each pool, they progress to the main draw, which is, we call this format, we call the dynamic format. So you start from the pools and then you move over to the elimination bracket, and yeah, so it went very well in Finlandia. It's also pretty widely used in Estonia. Almost, I would say, like every other weekend, someone has a tournament which has this kind of style. And the men's and women's singles were played using normal elimination brackets. So where all places were played out. So that is kind of the overview of the public side of the tournaments. Now, definitely you have questions about how does this all work from the perspective of the tournament admin. Well, I will show this to you right now. So if we now navigate from this public view, we go to the admin panel, we open the tournament section. For example, let's open the tournament that we were just looking at in the public view, so the Children's Grand Prix. So the tournament organizer is first greeted with this kind of screen where they fill out the basic information of the tournament. So everything that comes to managing the tournament, it's usually takes maybe one or two times, and then you already understand everything that's going on here. So some very basic information here. On the right side, you can see the live view of all the tables, which is very I would say very beneficial for the tournament organizer. We have gotten very good feedback for it. So you always have an overview of what tables are currently used and what tables are free. So the tournament organizer doesn't have to like look all over the hall to see where they can place their players. Then we have the general overview of the current classes. So, for example, this tournament it has I think 10 different classes right now at the same time in the same tournament hall. So we can just open the configuration for one of the classes. As you can see here, we have 18 players, for example. You choose the type of bracket you want to use for the tournament. Currently, Estonia mainly uses these types of brackets, but there's always ways to add more. So whatever your federation needs, it's always very possible to add all kinds of options. You can choose if a tournament is a doubles tournament or perhaps a teams tournament. So, for example, leagues or anything like that. That is also completely possible. And yeah, so the admin has the view of participants. As you can see, this tournament organizer currently added all participants. They can import it from, for example, from Excel sheets, or they can manually search for players from the database and add them here, which is really convenient. And then once they have added the players, they have the view to see the matches. As you can see in this class, all matches are already finished. But if we, for example, open this here, then as you can see, the green matches are the ones that are currently active. So these players are currently playing at the table. You can see where they are playing, and they have not finished their match yet. The white matches are the matches that have already been finished, and it's very easy to insert results also. So you can either insert it by sets, so like 3-0, 3-2, 2-1, so on, or you can insert it by points. So you can, as you can see here, if I'm filling it out, it's automatically filling the points. So it really just depends on how the tournament organizer wants to set the scores. So I will currently not touch this because this is someone's tournament, but you can also set different outcomes. For example, walkover if a player does not show up. Retirement is when a player injures themselves during a match. Disqualified. So you can set all these kind of things here. You can add yellow cards, green cards, yellow cards, red cards. So everything that you kind of need to run any type of tournament. Also from the admin panel, we can print protocols for the matches. We can select what matches we want to print out the protocols. So these are the ones that are given to the table umpires. So I selected 3 matches. Okay, let's select matches that are still upcoming. So I can print protocols from these matches. It they are now downloaded here, and then it will open them up in Excel for me, which is nice. So very easy. All information that is needed is filled out here. So the tournament umpire, or the table umpire, can easily just fill these out with the required information. All right, so few last things from the admin panel. As you can see, you already earlier you saw these brackets, which we showed you from the public side, but also from the admin panel. If admins want, they can insert or they can start matches straight from here, so they don't have to go to the matches view, but that's totally up to the organizer. You can once again see the standings here. You can see the statistics, which we already showed you, and then the admin can upload images, so they can create an image group, and then they can add images to this group from straight from their laptop, which is very nice, very simple. So yeah, that is kind of the overview right now of how tournaments work. We also have this option like tournament series, which is a new feature. So you can combine multiple tournaments under one series, and then uh, after every stage, the tournaments are calculated together. So we can easily have the whole season overview of some kind of tournament series, which is also really nice. All right, so now we have covered the ranking system, we have covered the tournaments. So moving on the idea of tournaments, I want to quickly show you one of our proudest features that is probably the first of its kind currently on the market, which is called the Intelligent Tournament Scheduler. So I will show you a quick demo. I will use Finlandia Open, which happened in December, as an example, as probably most of you are familiar with that tournament. So here in front of us, we have the schedule that we used during the Finlandia Open. This is currently the public view for the players that the players and spectators could see. As you can see, when you first open the schedule, you can see the different kinds of classes that were in the tournament, and you can see what color each class is. So, for example, we can start decrypting this table by first seeing that, okay, this top row here, this row here, it shows the time slots, and this row here, it shows the tables here on the left. So this is kind of like a matrix table, which shows on what table at what time which players are playing. So when a player comes to a tournament, they can instantly see where they are playing, at what time. There is no confusion. The tournament organizer does not have to use the microphone to call out to say, for example, okay, Emma and Clara are playing on table 2 at that time. So they can everyone can see this information straight from their device, and this information is always automatically updated whenever an admin makes any updates. So before I show you how it's configured from the admin side, I will quickly show you what everything that the players can see and the players can do. So as you can see here, this was during the Finlandia Open. We can see that most of the games started at 10 a.m. on December 4th. We can see that, for example, just as an example, on table 1 at 10 a.m., Maxime and Kai were playing in the pool A. So this is the same for all of these matches. And for example, if a player wants to search when their next matches are, they can put in their name. They can find themselves here. For example, if I can see one of the Estonian players, Marcos. If he searches for his games when the tournament starts, he can see a list exactly when he's playing, who he is playing against, on what table he is playing. All that information is presented to him with a single click. Now, another feature with this tournament scheduler is, for example, for coaches. Let's say I am the coach of the Estonian Federation. Then what I will do is I will select here from nationalities, I'll select Estonia, and that will help me see all matches just for Estonian players. So if otherwise this whole table it was very, very colorful and bright, and it was perhaps hard to find the matches for our players. Now here easily I can just see when my players are playing. So for example, Peret is playing at 10 a.m., Angela is playing at 10:30, and so on. So it makes it very simple to find. This got a lot of great feedback from all kinds of coaches and players during the Finlandia Open, which was really nice to hear. We can also, for example, select Finlandia players. We can see Nico is playing here, Maria is playing here, Lassie is playing here. So it's very simple to just kind of see when your players are playing. So this is mostly for the coaches. Now, okay, we have shown the public view of this tournament schedule. You can also look at it yourself. You can easily find the Finlandia Open website. But this does not just have to be for big tournaments, although it's mostly used for bigger tournaments, but you can also use it for any kind of tournament when you create a tournament on your new platform. So I will quickly show you. This is the admin side of the tournament schedule. So when a tournament organizer creates the schedule, they can select various options. For example, match durations, they can select breaks between matches, and they can also set configuration options for each class. So for example, women's singles started on the 5th of December at 9:30 a.m. And we can also select to see what is the order of the rounds in that specific class. So for example, it was winner round 1, winner round 2, loser round 1, and so on. So you can easily also change these, but I'm not going to touch it right now. It's everything is customizable. You can, once the admin generates a time schedule or updates it, then here they can, for example, if they want, they can move the matches around. If they want to put some matches on other dates or other days, or if they want to switch two matches with each other, that is completely possible. Um, and yeah, so it generates a timetable in a few seconds, even if there are like thousands of matches. Our system will generate this timetable for you. You will see something like this, and then what the admin can do, if they want, they can change some specifics, or they can make it exactly how they want, but the whole base will be made for you. So yeah, as I said earlier, this is kind of a feature that will mostly be used for major tournaments, for example, as was the Finland Open, or like the Pongfinity Cup will be in May, or these kind of tournaments where there are like players from all around the world. It has to have a very specific structure. Everything needs to be exactly on time. But also, if some organizer want, they can choose this or use this schedule for their small tournaments. The idea is always the same. This is just to make the tournament uh, the tournament timing and all the schedule to make it very easy and very structured. All right, so the next topic that we have to discuss now is called the CMS system. What this means is a content management system. So this in itself is responsible for all blog posts, document uploads, and all kinds of content that the federation wants to share with the players. So once again, I will use the Estonian Federation website as the example. I will show what kind of content you can upload, modify, share on our platform straight. And yeah, let's go right into it. So, here on the Estonian Federation page, I have opened the news section right now. So we can see all kinds of current news, which is one part of the content management system. It's very easy to filter all different kinds of news. You can select different categories. You can open a news article. You can read about certain news. So it's for players, it's very easy. Also, the news are available here on the home screen. In the same way, it's also available on the mobile application. So okay, before I show you the admin side, I will also show you other kinds of documents. So for example, if here under tournaments, we want to open the tournament guides, we have this kind of page here. Now, this is where the admins can upload the guides for the whole season for some kind of tournaments. For example, if I open the Estonian Champions League's guide, I can just press the view button and it will open the document which has all the information that the players want to know about the leagues. So it's all available here in one spot. You can see all kinds. You can filter this by year. You can select other years. You can select, so it's very simple, very nice. And all of this is managed. Also, you can see other kinds of, for example, the board protocols, uh, all kinds of protocols that the Federation wants to upload. So all these protocols and blogs are managed here in the admin panel. For example, for news, it's very easy to write the new news post. You choose a category, you put the title, my title, and then you can start adding content. For example, I can write the heading. This is my heading. I can write some text. Hello, this is my text, and I can add an image from my computer if I want, uh, uh, this kind of way. So you can you can do anything here that you want. You can save this news as a draft, or you can publish it. So for example, I will save it as a draft. I don't want to put this thing right now on the public page. I will save it as a draft. As you can see here, you can see it. I can always come back to it. I can edit it. But right now, let's just delete it. And this was just to show you. So also for the documents, it's very simple to manage all kinds of documents, upload new ones. For example, you can upload PDFs, you can upload Google Docs, you can upload all kinds of files. So it will be available for players. You can select where they can see these documents. For example, if you have board meetings and you want to upload the protocol for a board meeting, this can very easily be done here. As you can see, the Estonian Federation uploaded their last protocol on the 18th of December. We can easily view it, so on. And yeah, that is kind of how we manage the content here. It's very simple. Everyone is able to do it. It will just you will you will see how it's done, and then there is nothing difficult about this. So yeah, content management system. We have the blogs and we had the documents. All right, so as we continue the topic of our federation platform, one very important aspect is club management and most importantly, managing the players in a club. So let's go over a quick example. What I have here right now open on my screen is the public view on the Estonian Table Tennis Federation website of active Estonian clubs. So here you can see a card for each club. You can open the club to see the players who are in that club. You can see information. I can search for players. I can see everything about them. This is the public view. So everyone who visits your platform's website can see this about all the clubs. You can also see a little simple map for the clubs that have added their address. You can see where they are located, where they are playing. This is just like a little fun, cool feature. You can see the club's website. You can yeah, see their contact info. And this is just kind of, you can see where you can, if you're a new player, you can see where you can go play. So that's nice. Now, okay, for the important part, I will show you what the club management consists of itself. So here, when we have navigated to the admin panel, on the left-hand side, we can see this clubs section. I am currently logged in as the super administrator, the federation president, so I currently have access to administer all clubs. This is just for this video presentation. But if there's a club admin, then under their account, they can only modify their own club. So let's say I am the administrator of this club here, Pärnultica Vint. So what I can do is either I can modify the information of this club, so the contact info, the address, the logo, that kind of stuff. But what is mostly used is the player management. So what I can do here as the club administrator, I can see an overview of all the players in my clubs. If necessary, I can edit their information however I want. For example, if they had some faulty information from the past, then I can easily come and change it as the club administrator. And I can also add new players to the club. For example, if let's say I was the administrator of this club here and I wanted to add a player, let's say I want to add myself, right now it would not let me because I am already a member of another club. But if the club administrator wants to add someone to the club who is not already in another club or create a new player, for example, someone has never played table tennis in their life, so they're coming for the first time, they will fill out their information like this here. They can add their information and they can add the player and create a profile for them, which is very nice, very easy. Everything is always automatically synced. So the player's club information, for example, is displayed here in the ranking table also. Whenever they are added to a club, it will be visible here and also be visible here in the public view of the clubs. So the club admin can administer everything when it comes to their club, but they cannot modify someone else's club. All right, so now at this point that we have discussed how players are managed inside clubs and how the overall federation is managed, I want to quickly stop by our module, which provides capabilities for players to purchase themselves playing licenses, also to purchase renew their licenses, for example. And I will show you how our system automatically checks what kind of players can buy which kind of licenses and how it all is tied together in the tournament ecosystem. For example, in Estonia, it can be very different, for example, in Finland, but it can all be very easily configured. So once again, for example, let's use the Estonian Federation platform. I have opened this page at the top called licenses, and you will be greeted by this kind of screen in front of you. So let's try to go step by step. So this is the player license purchase slash renewal page of the platform. At the very top, we have a little bar to check for the status of someone's license. For example, I know that I have not yet this year purchased myself a license to play, so I, for example, cannot go to tournaments. I can select my name. I can see that my license is inactive right now. But if I, for example, select someone who has a license, then it will show how long their license will be active for. So under it, we can see kind of a little statistics about the distribution of licenses, how many men have bought a license, how many women have bought a license, how many have an active license right now. And then, yeah, the Estonian Federation had a little 2025 campaign, which can actually now be removed. So I think they will probably remove it soon because 2026 just started. But let's discuss a bit the core logic of this licensing module. So, for example, here in Estonia, we have currently 10 different kinds of, 8 different kinds of licenses. Each one has a specified price, where mostly it depends on whether a player is in a club or not in a club and the player's age. So, for example, the licenses for children and young players are cheaper than for adults, and also it's cheaper for seniors above a certain age. Um, Buying a license from the perspective of a player is very simple. It can be done here on the laptop or on the phone the exact same way. So let's say I am an adult. For me, I would get an adult license. So if I search for my name here, it will search in the player database. As you can see, I found it. I will select myself, and the available license types for me are the adult license or the one-time license. So the one-time license is active, for example, for one tournament, and once the player has played the tournament, it will be taken away. But for example, let's say I wanted to buy a 1 year license, adult license. I can also choose 2 years. And let's say I will add one of my email addresses where I will get the invoice. Invoices can also be made for clubs, for example, if they need an invoice. And all that the player has to do is complete their payment. It will take them over to the payment page. Here we also support the Finnish payment methods. So for example, I can choose Finland here, and we have all kinds of Finnish payment methods that you can use, bank or card. And let's say after the player has confirmed their payment, I will not do this process right now, but let's say the player has confirmed their payment, then they will have their license and it will automatically be updated. So for example, as you can see here, right now I don't have a license, but if I would have bought one right now, it will already be here, it would be active. And what Estonia decided to do is, for example, for players who do not have license, they cannot be added to a tournament. So let's say there is this tournament coming tomorrow. Okay, this one does not have any tournament classes added yet, but let's say there is this tournament coming tomorrow. Um, there is no players added yet. You can, in Estonia, for example, you can only add players who have an active license. So then it would not be the responsibility of the tournament administrator to check if the player has a license or not, because it will be automatically checked for the system. So for example, I can add other people who have a license here. The green symbolizes that they have a license. I can add them to the participants list. But for example, if I try to add myself, who I know I don't have a license, then I cannot do that. But for example, also in Finland, there might be different regulations for that. That is totally customizable. It's according to how your federation wants to do it, but this is the way it's done in Estonia. And also, I know that in Finland, the licenses are kind of connected to some external source, which we could also help integrate with, but we would have to discuss that with you in person. But that is kind of the overview of the licenses. Also, club admins can see who in their club has a license and who doesn't yet. For example, we can see that Heikki from Finland actually is also a member of the pattern club. Heikki does not have, for example, an Estonia license right now, but as you can see, most other people here do have. So, Heikki, you should go buy a license. But yeah, that is kind of overall the structure of how the licenses work. Right now, here it's in Estonian, and yeah. All right, so now we have covered a pretty large portion of the topics that we have on the platform. Now, let's kind of see how it all comes together and how we ensure that people cannot accidentally screw something up or do something that they should not do. So for this, I will use a simple presentation slide rather than showing it on the platform, as I think it's easier to grasp it this way. So what is role-based access control? Let's say in our federation we have different kind of people. So in this example, I put that Tom on the left-hand side with the blue little face is a club administrator. So he is the main person of one club, but he is not directly a tournament organizer or not in the on the board of the federation. So Tom will be given access to only his club, so he can update information about his club. He can manage the players in his club, and for example, he can write the news. For example, if a club is organizing a tournament or if a club has some kind of announcement, then Tom is the one who can do it from his account. He is not permitted to do anything else. He cannot create tournaments unless he is granted the permission to run tournaments. He cannot change the roles of other admins or anything like that. Next, in the middle, we have Mia. Mia is the president of our federation, the so-called imaginary federation. So some examples of things she can do is she can manage other admins. She can create new admins. For example, if there's a new tournament organizer in the federation, she can easily create an account for them. So she can take away their account. She can give the new person privileges. She can, on top of that, manage everything there is with the federation. For example, write federation-wide news, make announcements, all that kind of stuff. So more like managerial duties for the federation. But Mia in this example has all the control. So she her account is kind of like the super administrator of the federation, be it the Finnish Table Tennis Federation or just our imaginary federation that we have here on the screen. And the third person that I would point out would be Mike, who will be our tournament organizer, for example. And all that Mike can do right now, he can create new tournaments, for example. He can run his own tournaments, create brackets, insert results, and perhaps add images to the tournament or like photos after the tournament. And also, he can write news articles and posts. So, for example, if a tournament is finished, he can write the overview of the tournament, how it went, and yeah, that's kind of what Mike can do. Now, the thing with these roles is your federation can have also different kind of roles. For example, we have perhaps a photographer role. For example, I know Hannu is a photographer in the Finnish Table Tennis Federation. And then, for example, let's say he would have his own account, and then that account would have permissions to upload photos to various tournaments or yeah, upload the gallery images that he took at the tournament. And then let's say your federation has someone who manages all the documents. For example, let's say I don't let's say Henry is the secretary general. Perhaps Henry handles all the board documents, protocols, stuff like that. So you can do it that Henry will be responsible for all of that. But these are just a few examples. You can create any kind of roles inside the federation, and then the super admin can easily just give permissions to every person or every role who has an administrator account.